All right, what's going on, everyone? Again, this is Christopher Y. Coco. Welcome to our Nurse Founder Forum and Allied Healthcare Entrepreneurs for another live chat in Tuesday. Before anything else, what is the Nurse Founder Forum and Allied Healthcare Entrepreneurs? This is a community. We're here to help nurses and allied healthcare professionals to transition from their burnout job to having their own businesses, creating income, and owning their future. If you're a nurse, therapist, doctors, chiropractors, anything in the healthcare industries, this is your show. And also today, we're going to talk about what is the pathway. Being in the US, we're going to focus on the different steps on the healthcare industry for the business visas. But before anything else, this won't be possible without my co-host for today. It's a good friend of mine. It's been a long time that we haven't met since I think 4 years now, but at least we keep in touch as much as possible in terms of helping Filipinos or immigrant in general to be in the United States. So let me show, let me just tell you about her credentials and personal bio. She is a highly respected immigration attorney with more than 25 years of dedicated legal experience. Her own immigration story began at age 12 when she moved from the Philippines to the United States. This personal experience shaped her deep empathy for the immigrant community and today fuel her guiding philosophy, an immigrant helping immigrants. Her journey is your journey. She earned her Bachelor of Science in Philosophy in 1991 and her Juris Doctorate in 1995 from the University of Utah College of Law. Over the years, she has developed one of the most well rounded and impactful careers in immigration law, including private practice, nonprofit leadership, civil rights work, and federal court experience. Let us all welcome Attorney Marlene Gonzalez. Attorney,
Thank you, Chris. It's good to reconnect with you. We stay in touch on Facebook and share each other's experiences, and we share information. But I'm happy to be here. Share,
yes, thank you.
especially I'm happy that you started this forum.
Oh, Oh yes, yes. We started this forum. We have 2,500 followers so far, and this is what we're doing is to provide continuous resource education. We all know so many healthcare are so busy on their jobs, so this is something that they can watch while they're getting ready to work or while they're cooking or anything, right? So that's why we wanted to make it more accessible, although it's only exclusive for the private group. All right. So, attorney, what's going on? I mean, it's been 4 years. Been
Yeah.
4 years we haven't met.
So I've been working with the home health owners, facility owners to petition for
Mhm.
caregivers and nurses. Okay.
Oh
We've
wow.
been able to, the caregivers, it's taking a little bit longer because of the visa wait, but it's happening. It's still happening. Owners can actually petition for even their nieces and nephews. And so this is where I see some of the Filipino business owners are petitioning for their nieces and nephews.
All right.
But mhm,
Mm-hmm.
the
So
latest though is the E2 that I'm really
E2.
promoting E2. Yes.
Oh yeah, the E2. Yeah, we're going to dig deeper on the E2, but I have a specific current question with the current political climate. Are these visas still on the same route on times of processing, or there's a delay?
Yes, there's no delay when it comes to the processing. Um, Everything is the same when it comes to employment based petitions. They're not
Mm.
really affected by what's going on in the removal side, on the I side, because these are people who are petitioning from abroad, who don't have any prior record of deportation, who have all the credentials to work in the United States.
Okay, that's good news to hear because with all this news everywhere, we are still can have a sigh of relief that it's still not being affected. Actually, Attorney Merlin discussed a while ago and work visas. Guys, if you have questions, feel free to type your questions in the comment, and we're gonna read it and as we are going to the live chat today. Okay, so we're talking about work visas, but also business visas and entrepreneur pathways. So let's talk about what is an E2 business visa.
Okay, the E2 visa is a non-immigrant visa. It's good for 2 years. Non-immigrant visas mean it's temporary. They have an expiration, but the E2 you can renew each time. Okay, the Philippines is one of the countries that's an E2 country. There are certain countries. There's a list of countries. The Philippines is one. So with an E2 visa, I can invest. Let's say I'm in the Philippines. I can invest in an existing or new business in the United States and be
Mm-hmm.
able to participate in the profit, to be able to make profit.
Mm-hmm.
I have a strategy. Okay.
Yes.
Want to hear my
Mm-hmm.
strategy? Okay.
Yeah, I wanna hear that. Spill the bean.
So this is actually, and I do have an existing project if anybody wants to do this, but
Mhm.
this is the ideal model, right? If a couple, let's say a couple, husband and wife or wife and wife, it doesn't matter. A
Yeah.
couple decide to come together and invest in a business. Let's say facility, right? In order to
Mm-hmm.
get the E2, you must make a substantial investment in a business. Substantial is relative. The US government does not put a dollar amount. Okay. So if the business is, for example, 200,000, okay, the Filipino couple can invest in the business and be part owners, right? But we only need one principal investor. I would make it the non nurse. The non
Mm-hmm.
nurse spouse becomes a principal investor. The nurse spouse can have a work permit and be able to, get her NCLEX, his or her NCLEX, and do the process here, become a nurse here. Okay. And so they're making 50% profit off of this business. And the nurse spouse gets to work. Eventually, we
Yeah.
find an employer for the nurse spouse for an EB3. The EB3 is taking 3 years. So they renew one time and then they can both get a green card, including their family. So then in this EB3 process, it's a nurse who's a principal, and the spouse can be the derivative spouse. And any child under 21 can join and go to school here. So it's a pathway from E2 to EB3.
Yeah.
E2, non
Just
immigrant green card.
uh-huh. So it's for this could guys, we're talking about business visa, right? The E2 visa, the eligibility. So we're talking about there's no substantial amount of money, right? That's what we're talking
Substantial.
about. And then but my question is, does it matter? We have another business person, another entrepreneur and nurse. We have Mr. Eric Napule. He's joining us right now. Eric,
Hello.
all right, there you go. Okay, so he's warming up. And so the question is, even does it matter whether you're in the Philippines and is the processing the same in the Philippines and versus in the US? Because
It's
if people are already in the US.
it's a little bit easier pag nasa US na because they can come as tourists. When you're a tourist, you have 6 months in the United States. Okay, we can start the in the E2 process. You can start buying the property, okay, or buying the business. You can get all
Mm-hmm.
the paperwork done, and you can ask to change status from B2 tourist to E2, and it can be done with premium processing. Within 15 days, they can decide. Sometimes we get asked for more evidence, but you don't need to go back to the Philippines. You can establish yourself here as an E2 investor.
Mm-hmm. So basically, it's only one, or it can only be one person in the couple, right? Either the husband or the wife. Because I'm familiar with this before. And then when the after, if it's here in the US from tourist visa to E2 visa, what's going to happen to the tourist visa?
It's going to drop.
It's
It's
gonna
still
drop.
there. That it's not necessarily canceled. If
Mhm.
they lose the E2, they can still have the tourist visa. It's not necessarily canceled. No.
Okay.
Um,
And
mhm.
and then what's going to happen to the spouse? So the let's say the husband got the E2 visa, the spouse can have a working visa.
No, a work permit.
Just work permit. So she can work, and when you say work, she can have a social security number.
Correct. Correct.
Oh, okay. And how about the kids? If they have two, three kids.
They can go to school as long as they're under 21. They're eligible to go to school, but they don't get work permits like the spouse does.
Mm. They don't get work permits, so they don't have social security, so they can only qualify for the individual tax ID number, right? Um,
uh,
yeah.
think so. I think I don't know if
No,
they can
no,
get
they do 18 because that's what we process. It's just
yes
for the tax filing
for
requirement.
two
So,
students.
and then every two, is there a specific, like for example, let's talk about, the ownership versus self-employed is being employed. So any type of business in the healthcare, like you said, does it need to have a physical location?
Yes, it has to be a bona fide operating business. Okay, we have to show that it's it's profit making. Okay, it's
Mhm.
making profit. It's an existing real business. So yes, physical is necessary because otherwise, why would they need to come here if it's all online, for
Yeah.
example?
Okay, so yeah, they need to be actively involved. And then also, do they when we're talking about this E2 visa, does the family have the chance to go to the Philippines, especially if it's only 2 years? Would you suggest
Yes.
that?
So once we get the E2 change of status here, okay, they have status. It's not a visa. They go back
Mhm.
to the Philippines and apply to the US consulate over there for their E2 visa. We show that they have been approved for the E2. They have the approval notice. And we show that they're still doing the business. So when they come back in, they're going to put the E2 visa on their passport. Once that visa is there, they can be going back and forth
Mm.
during those 2 years. And remember, it's renewable every 2 years.
Oh, okay. And also one thing that I've noticed about, so number one, we talk about the physical location. Number two, in terms of the ownership, let's just say they come here, but they are planning to have a business partnership. So somebody, let's say, owns a home health, but he doesn't have the capacity of finances and industrial. How much percentage that the person will apply for the E2 visa to be qualified on this kind of business for
Well,
partnership?
because the standard is substantial, we need to make it 50% or more,
50.
minimum 50%.
Minimum. Okay, minimum of 50%. So that's the qualification. And then also, if that business, does it matter if it's, let's say, for the past 3 years that business owner is losing money already, like negative, would that if affect the business visa?
Correct. We have to show that the business makes profit. Okay.
Mhm.
So one of the things we show in an E2 application is the business plan, how the investment of this new partner or partner
Mhm.
will help grow the business in the next 5 years. We have a business plan that says, with this investment, I can help grow the business in the next 5 years.
Oh, okay. So it should be at least 5 years, even if the business is already there for a while, right? The business plan is still gonna be required,
For the
right?
next 5 years, correct.
Okay, so so we talk about the ownership should be 50%. There's a physical location, and then yeah, you said 2 years, and then substantial amount of money. So what for the in type in how long does the processing? Let's say, do you suggest the premium or would you suggest just the regular processing?
Premium, premium processing, because premium processing would allow them to get it determined 15 to 45 days, so that they come here on a tourist visa. So if they're still at home, they've already figured out a business that they can invest in. They've already made arrangements. You need to show that. So when they come here, they need to show that they put the money in. We have to show that the money came from a legal source, not illegal
Mm,
source. We usually show the bank statement from their home country where the money came from. It could be from their, from their salaries or their other businesses in their home country, and they
So
come and invest in business here.
yeah. So would they be do they need a business US business bank account? So from Philippine money, Philippine bank account to the US bank account, they need to really already have a bank account here in the US?
They can have a bank account here. They can, right? Tourists can have a bank account, but the business itself, right? The existing business or the new business would have
Mhm.
a business bank account, and we need to show that from their personal account they put the money into the business when they bought the business.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that they need to transfer all the money, right? Because sometimes it's just a startup cost. Is that true or no?
They need to show that they have invested their portion.
Oh, they invested literally, and also in that case, let's say 100,000, but they also, I know the immigration is also going to check how much money is left because of their personal expenses, right? Like for the next
No,
6 months. No, they
no,
don't.
no,
Okay,
no, they
I was
don't.
thinking like the mortgage, the school expenses, the wife. So now, in doing that, is it possible that they don't have employees or they need to have employees? Let's say, like for this home health, for example, they don't have money yet to pay an employee. Is that something like a red flag from the immigration?
Not necessarily, but they do need to show at least one employee.
Can the spouse be the employee or no?
The spouse can work for the business.
Oh, really? No way. But it needs to be a reasonable salary, right? It should follow the standard salary. So if they hire the wife as a caregiver, those kind of things, it should be the same salary, right?
Well,
Would
whatever the going rate is, but it's not like green card application where you have to show that you're paying them the prevailing wage. Whatever the going
oh
rate.
yeah, yeah, prevailing wage. Okay, and then can they petition somebody from the Philippines under this? Let's say they already have a company, but they need more caregivers. Is that possible to get
Yeah,
through
as a
the company?
company, it's the entity that can.
Mhm. The petition.
Correct,
Mhm.
correct,
And that's something you do, right?
correct.
You
And
process.
yeah, and so Chris, what I'm saying is that let's say in this scenario, I actually have a project if anybody's interested. So
Yeah.
I'm
Let me know
advertising this.
about the project. Mhm.
It's a nurse staffing, it's a travel nurse staffing agency. That's the business.
Yeah,
Travel,
travel nurse staffing agency. So
okay.
how does this work? Where do you get the nurse and yeah, how do you
There's already a company. The company I know, we're already setting this up. The company already has other businesses that it's easy. They can just sell that portion to start this one business. And we're looking at 200,000 as the total value of the business. The investment from the E2 person would be 100,000. Okay?
Oh, okay. So you're looking for specifically for people that would like to have E2, right?
Correct. Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So whether here in the US or they're coming from the Philippines.
Correct.
But my question, do they need to be licensed nurse?
So remember, we're going to
Mhm.
make the spouse who's not a nurse
Mhm.
the principal E2 person. The, inv-
Ah,
the investor will manage the business as a
yeah.
manager. The
Mhm.
spouse can work.
Yeah.
We will make that the nurse spouse. That
Mhm.
nurse spouse can actually be working. You ask whether can the spouse work for the company? Well, in this travel agency, travel nurse staffing
Mhm.
agency business, the nurse spouse has ability to work and can work for the company and can be
Yes.
one of the first travel nurses. The
Mhm.
principal applicant is the manager of the business. So they're making profit 50%. The nurse spouse is making her hourly, whatever travel nurse income is. And so it's a win win for both spouses, the principal E2 applicant and the nurse spouse.
Does it matter about their background, like their history? For example, they're putting a home health and private nurse, but in the Philippines they own farms, they own restaurants, or they're just government employed, are those come into play in terms of their professional and business experience?
Good question. The E2
Mhm.
applicant must show that he or she has the ability to develop and direct the business. If they've had a company, if they run a company before in the Philippines or whatever countries are E2, they can show
Mhm.
that I've had, experience. I can manage this, because that's one thing that we have to show, that the E2 principal applicant is in a position to develop and direct. So, for
Mm.
example, I buy a restaurant and I've owned a restaurant before in my home country. I'm in a position because I know this industry. But you don't necessarily need to know the particular healthcare industry if you were in farming before, as long as you can show that you have experience developing a business.
Okay, that's yeah, that's good to know. And for the E2, is there a maximum amount of money that can be invested before it scale up to a different type of visa?
Oh, but that's going to the EB5. But then
EB5.
to apply, it's a separate application for the EB5. The
Mhm.
EB5 requires a minimum. There are two categories for target
Mhm.
employment areas, like low developed areas. It's
Mhm.
$800,000 investment,
800,000. Okay.
800,000, and then
Mhm.
for other most areas, 1,050,000 investment.
Okay. So are the I have some people that they only want to invest in real estate. They for example they buy medical plazas, right? Would they be eligible? Let's say it's less than 800,000. Would they be eligible with this E2 visa if they're just investing their money
No,
on real? No. Okay.
no. E2 is specifically for actually developing and working the business, managing,
Mhm.
developing the business.
Is it harder? Is it harder to get approved when you're not inside the US?
I heard that it is. The ones that I have done are they are here on a tourist visa and we change status. I've heard that it
Mhm.
is because it depends on the consulate, where in certain countries where there's a lot of fraud, you can imagine
Yes.
the consular officers are stricter.
Okay. Would you suggest that? So, would you suggest that they also have a Philippine lawyer, and then you're here, for example, from the Philippines, and then you're here? Is it you suggest it's highly recommended?
It's recommended that they have a US lawyer.
U.S. lawyer, and
Yeah.
not necessarily to the immigration in the Philippines, right?
Oh, for the immigration?
Mhm.
No, because it's US. Everything in this process would be US. US
Mhm.
immigration and US business law.
Okay. And then some of my friends they said so 2 years ito visa, and then what if they're not being approved? Let's say 2 years and then another 2 years. Is there like a maximum number of renewal for the E2 visas?
No.
Mm.
I knew this couple. I had clients. It's a Korean couple. They ran their dry cleaning business, okay? They
Mhm.
kept renewing until their kids had married US citizens and gotten their citizenship and petitioned for them. They were on
Oh,
E2 for a long time.
oh, because at least that business is profitable, right?
Correct.
Like it's making business, it's making profit, not just losses and losses. So that can continue. E2 Visa can continue as long as it's growing and profitable, right? That's the
That's
main
correct. That's
condition.
correct.
Okay,
Correct.
wow. And then for the this, so for the E2 visas, is there any quota every year? There's a cap, or they only allow 1,000 number of
No,
E2 visas? No,
no, no.
it's not a
Not
cap.
that. Mm.
Mm. Are there any type of uh, what are the common reason of denial that you've encountered before?
Oh, if they have not fully invested, they should be, they should have put all the money already. I had a client, we had a problem with They only put the down payment, but they haven't paid the other half. The government
Mm.
wanted to show us that you've already given the other half, and then it got approved. Okay.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Oh, let's talk
And
about the source of funds. They
yeah,
can borrow some of the money.
yeah, I've heard about the gift money.
Yes. Then, uh-huh.
Is there like a maximum amount that they can receive? Because I heard like somebody inherited money, or her aunt gave her the money.
Yep. It can be a gift. So that 100,000 that we need to buy this travel nurse agency can be a gift from the family.
Oh, okay. It's just like more documentation, or it's not
More
as complex
documentation, correct.
as it.
Or if they sold properties in the Philippines, that's where the money came from to invest. That's
Mhm.
also a legitimate source.
Okay. And then you would suggest that because I've heard that the business, it's ideal that the business is already running, that it already
Correct.
has even like income expenses, not so much income, but more like expenses, startup capital with registration from the state to the federal before you even apply, right? So that's a higher chance for this to get approved.
Correct. But it could also be a
Mm.
new business,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. As long as the business plan says, well, this travel nurse agency has the potential, because the business plan, it studies, like it shows a study of other competitors are making this much money. The likelihood of this business making so much money is this. In the next 5 years, we expect this, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, this is a good news for like what you've said, that it's is it only one company that you have this offer where you're looking for an E2 visa that has $100,000 of investment, or you have multiple companies like this
So far, it's one, but
in Las
we're
Vegas?
because it doesn't have to be big. You see,
Hmm.
we can
Hmm.
have what, 4 or 5 travel nurses, a
Yeah.
staff, a staff,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
spouse, principal investor manages. The other spouse can be doing travel nursing also.
Yeah.
Um, but we're considering it a prototype because
Hmm.
if that works, we can build other businesses just like that.
Oh yeah, that's
Yes,
really true. Especially in the healthcare, there's so much. There's a big demand in the healthcare. Actually, what we're exploring, attorney, is this adult daycare, the daycare facility, where maximum of four geriatric people that
yeah,
let's say I would like to have my own adult daycare, right? But I'm still in the tourist visa, and then I would like to put this up, and then I would like to have my own adult daycare, right? And then if there's any licensing or any other requirement that need a US citizen, then I can partner up with the person, right?
exactly.
And then we're going to do the 50-50. I might be an industrial partner. So that type of business model, even I only have 4 or 5 bedroom in the house, and then I like it an adult daycare, that could qualify as investors visa, an E2, right?
Correct, correct.
No, that's good. Yeah, because
Yeah,
some of my clients. Mhm.
it doesn't need to be big. So my
Yeah.
most recent one is a Thai restaurant. Okay,
Hmm.
the Thai restaurant, they bought it new. Basically, they bought an existing ramen bar. They converted it into a Thai restaurant. The initial investment was 145,000. The Thai investor put in 75,000,
Hmm.
and it was approved.
Oh,
The Thai,
nice.
yeah, it was approved. So the Thai investor, she has experience. She owned a restaurant in Thailand, so she's in a very good position to manage the business.
Oh, yeah, because she already has a proven track record of
Correct.
that she's been. Mhm. Oh, okay. Yeah, so guys, what are your takeaways today? We're learning so much, attorney. What are the tips that you can give to them when they're applying for this E2 visa? What are the tips that you would
Yeah,
suggest?
explore possible businesses. You could even buy a franchise. You can buy pizza franchise. Um,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah,
You
I
can
heard about it.
Google, yeah, you can Google E2 franchises. You can buy a franchise. That's not a problem. I had a client who bought a they bought a pizza franchise.
Pizza.
It was
Yeah. Here,
180,000 for the whole franchise, and they own business in their home country, and so they had a lot of money to invest. So that, and they're just running the pizza franchise.
yeah, yeah, even like because the branches already have the system, they already have this, even the finances, they already have that, the training, the process, and the people. So that's very good. Although it's well, we cannot just say that it's more expensive than the traditional right there.
No,
It's
because it depends.
mm, yeah,
Yeah.
that's why the other people they have selling food supplement products, you know, like they want to have a retail store for here, and they doing more Amazon, or maybe they need to have an store, right? Does the office need to be in the house? Is that questionable? if
Pardon me.
if the if the business address, does the business address need to be separate from the house, where let's say they live in the house, do they need that to have a separate business address?
No, not if that can be the official address. You know.
Mhm. Mm. Okay, that's good. And then by here, you serve every what countries that you work with? People, I know Philippines. Is there a like Canada? Do
Yeah,
you people that
Canada.
come here?
Yeah, different countries because like I have clients from Pakistan, India.
Pakistan.
Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, different countries.
Okay, at least you're not limited. Just here in
No,
the. Mhm. That's
because
well,
U.S.
and
is federal law. U.S. immigration is federal law.
okay, now, by the way, if you're serious about leveling up, make sure that you are joining our Nurse Founder Forum community. We're building something powerful. And attorney, we're reaching to the last part of our live chat. What are the other upcoming projects or visas that they can inquire to you? Guys, if you want to inquire with attorney Marlene, it's in the description. You can book your pre-consultation, right? You accept for initial.
Uh, let's just say if they're members of the Nurse Founder Forum, they can get a half-hour free consultation. They have to
All
say,
right, there you go.
okay,
Thank you so much, attorney. And
thank
for
you.
that, you also can be reached in on the website, and then also your office is in Utah, attorney.
My office is in Utah, but I have clients all across the United States because immigration is federal law.
Yeah, that's why we are in the right group, because if you we are 2,500 members, and it's in different
Um,
cities, states, and we have country from the Philippines also. So we have a stack of people that also some companies from the Philippines that would like to start here in the US. So that's why this is they will be able to
yes.
watch this. All right. If you got value from this, guys, do not keep it to yourself. Share with another healthcare allied professionals who needs this. And if you're serious about building your next level, whether it's business income or just understanding how money works, we're bringing everyone together live at our Nurse Founder Forum events. You don't want to miss this. Okay, guys, thank you. What are your takeaways? Comment below. Let me know. Again, Attorney Marlene, hopefully
Thank
we
you,
can see each
Chris.
other in person. You're going to be in the Philippines October
Soon. Yes.
soon. Okay. Well,
Thank
let's
you.
yeah, October would be the best day for me to go. Hopefully we can do our trade mission again, right?
Yes.
It's been a long time. Okay, guys, thank you so much, Attorney Marlene. Thank you for being our guest today, and take care. Stay safe.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Chris. Thanks,
Bye
everybody.
bye.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye.